Hi, me again. You might have noticed I just moved from left to right, let's proceed with the second part of this presentation. And this, well, yeah, it's a trading or it's just a transfer of information, I guess. As you might know from the previous episode, we have a particular vision, and this vision means brands in control. So we make sure that brands increasingly have control to optimize campaigning and to increase ROI on cross-media investment. So these layers probably look familiar as well. So we're going to talk about the post-measurement. But I just want to just take a couple of minutes to give you a bit more context on the number 2 and the number 3. So especially the number 2. So what do we mean with that short cycle data and insights? Okay, let's move on. So this thanks platform. So what is this thanks platform, and what is it for? So the thanks platform is basically just an app. Just an app to download on your mobile telephone. And what this app does is it will activate all the senses of your mobile telephone. And you know, these senses, well, you have quite a few senses on your mobile phone without you really giving a lot of notice. But the first one, of course, is, well, let me start with the audio matching. So the first one is your microphone. So what we have done is we teach the platform campaigns, and those campaigns can be TV or video on demand or online video or cinema, advertising, radio. It doesn't really matter as long as it makes a noise. So we teach the platform those commercials. So what happens if you are connected to the platform and this commercial is being aired or played in the room and you're looking at it, it will notice this too, and the system will say, okay, well, that's nice. You've just been looking at let's say, commercial of Coca-Cola, and this information is being stored right away, right? So the other one is GPS or location tracking. So we use GPS tracking for 2 reasons, or mainly 2 reasons. So one reason is to understand how often you came across a out-of-home advertising, and the other one is to have detailed information on the retail stores you visit, how often and how long, and so on and so on. Well, that's all passive measurement. So that's one. And the other one, and that's the one here below, is the audience data. So your mobile phone also can store quite a bit of data. So on every question that people answer, the profile is getting richer and richer and richer, and of course we also have a lot of passive information. So we already know if you're loyal to a particular supermarket, or if you go to sport clubs, or all that information is already known. So if we want to communicate directly with someone, because we want to move on to active measurement, we can use messaging, which is the next sentence. So messaging we use as a very short form of surveying, or we only use like 3 to 5 questions per conversation, which you can answer as a member within a minute. The last one is the camera. If we want to deep dive into someone's experience, or give them some sort of an assignment, we activate the camera, and the data, of course, is also connected to the audience and to the location tracking and to audio matching, and so on and so on. Well, what's important to know as well, it works on Android and Apple, and it's easy to download, it's GDPR compliant, and there's a dashboard connected. But for time's sake, I'm not going to wait here for a long time. I just going to show you how this kind of works. So all the data comes into the Thanks dashboard. So that's on day-to-day information on cross-media reach, cross-media frequencies, what type of audiences have been exposed with TV, with online video, I don't know, with commercials, what type of people look at Netflix for, okay, they don't have commercials, but we can still find out what type of consumers actually watch how often Netflix if we use the sound bites. Of course, we also have detailed information connected to that, to retail traffic, and we can execute automatically exposed, non-exposed analytics, because we already know if someone is exposed or not. We can do the same with competitors, which is, for a brand, it's nice to know how you are going, but it's also important to see things relative to your competitors. And of course, it comes with the daily upgrades. So, example. So, if these two fine people are watching, consumers watching their favorite show, and suddenly a commercial of interest is passing by, we will know. If this particular lady walks through the beautiful city of Amsterdam and there is a out-of-home ad, we will know. If we have questions about it, did people actually recognize the TV commercial, or did they recognize the cinema commercial, or did they recognize this out-of-home advertising? We can send them the short form conversational type of surveying. They only have to ask a couple of questions, and we have, of course, in the profile of the audiences, we already know if they have been exposed or not. Alrighty, so in the dashboard it just looks more, it looks like this. So we can provide, for instance, information on day-to-day the build-up of reach or the contact frequencies, but we can also tell the percentage of reach per channel and all channels stuck together, if you will. But we also can take a closer view to, for instance, contact frequencies, because a lot of brands use a Byron Sharp type of methodology, and they want to keep those contacts low. Well, there's not really an instrument coming from either a research company or a media agency that can help you with that. So things can help you with that. So I guess that's a big plus. We can also provide information, very detailed information on who has been exposed per broadcaster, per TV channel, everything, which is a big plus, because you can have a much better analysis on did I reach out to my target audience, yes or no. And target audience can also mean my customers, my loyal customers, my not so loyal customers, customers that go to competitors, and so on and so on. So it's very, very specific. Exposed, non-exposed type of answers, they also come within 1 day, because the whole process is automated, right? So there's no manual labor going through this system anymore. And the same holds for appreciation, which is less technical, of course, than the exposed, non-exposed. But regardless, customers do find it, a very pleasant idea to have everything in the same place. The same holds for retail visits. It's basically not only retail visits, because you also have a lot of sponsored events, and which might play a part in a particular campaign. But in most cases, it's basically, I want to know the effect of my cross-media campaign on the shopping floor, or I want to understand the effect of my cross-media campaign and the retail media component in there as well. Well, I'm not going to bother you with how that looks, but what's important to know is that from every single person, for instance, going to a large supermarket chain, we already know their cross-media footprint. So if you're Lidl or Aldi, we already know how often they have succeeded in reaching out to their specific target audiences, but we also know how often competing supermarkets have been successfully reaching out to those type of audiences. Well, the last sense is the mobile telephone, and the mobile telephone we use to really understand the deeper drivers of either loyalty or short-term buying, or switching to another brand. Typically those elements that you really cannot find enough affinity and detail in just a short survey. So in those cases, when it deals about experiences or when it deals about real impact, or that's really close by to the heart of the consumer, we activate the camera, and it works remarkably simple. We just like we invite someone for a survey, we invite someone for a video, and there's always one topic, right? So we ask one topic. The consumer will put their thumb on a little button on screen, and once they release it, then it will be sent to us. So hundreds and hundreds, and sometimes thousands and thousands of videos come our way on very, very specific subjects, which I find is magic. But I guess you will agree if you see it, because it's also really targeted. So if we want to have, in the last example, if we want to have consumers going to the Lidl and the Aldi this week, and they have seen the Lidl campaign and they have seen whatever more, we can pinpoint them and we can target only those type of consumers that fit that particular profile. So to truly understand your consumer and customer, it's of course important to know the more qualitative part, but the majority of the business is more into the quantitative part. So both the passive measurement as the active measurement. And in the Netherlands and Belgium, and increasingly so in France, this platform is now also replacing more traditional cross-media type of measurement. And that's, I guess, this second part. So the reason why I've shown you this second part is to give you an idea on what type of continuous data we gather and we analyze for large brands to truly understand the ROI of their cross-media investment based on what people really, really do. What I did not mention, which might be important and you might wonder, these audiences altogether are of course a representative audience altogether, right? So it's not about how many people you can connect, but it's how close they resemble a particular nation's population. So for instance, in the Netherlands, we have about 15,000 consumers coming from about 5 consumer panels, and of course they become a member of the Thanks platform forever, well, if it's up to us. But what's really remarkable is that them together are truly representative. So if someone leaves, we will get someone in return fitting about the same profile. So that's, I guess, the magic of how that works. All right, so thank you for your attention, yeah, let's move on to part 3. Thank you very much.